All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Well, I say we, hell, it's only me this go around. Mr. Craig Bardell decided to take Sunday off. But yeah, probably we'll be a little bit busy today, but not too crazy like yesterday. But for those of you watching out there who are wondering, is House of Whiskey open today? Yes, we are, so come on down and grab your Christmas presents. Better yet, grab your presents for yourself. All right, we have made our way down to day number 5 of the Advent calendar. Yesterday, I believe we had the Talisker. We had the Talisker 10 yesterday, and today we've got whiskey number 5, which is over there on the far right. And let's, as we always do, struggle a bit to get in. Let's see what we have for today. Day number 5 on our wee little Advent calendar. All right, let's see. Might have a little whiskey left over today since Mr. Bardell's not here. Get my fat fingers in here and pick it out. See what we've got. We've got one of the very first distilleries I ever visited way back many years ago. We've got the Glengoyne 12-year-old. Awesome little distillery there, Glengoyne. If you fly into Glasgow, it's just sort of north of Glasgow, not far at all, actually. It is a beautiful distillery. It's interesting in that technically, and of course it's kind of imaginary lines, but technically Glengoyne is distilled in the Highlands of Scotland, but yet across the road, that's kind of the imaginary dividing line from the Highlands to the Lowlands. It's actually matured in the Lowlands. So, as any cool whiskey, it always has a good story. But Glengoyne is a beautiful distillery. In fact, if for those of you who did see Angel Share, and actually for those of you who not, definitely want to see that movie Angel Share. Incredibly funny, just a wicked cool movie, so get out and see it. But when they actually drive in the movie to pull up to do the distillery tour, and when they get inside the distillery, you're actually getting a tour of Deanston, which is just down the road, not too far from Glengoyne. It's down near, the castle, I have to come back to it. The castle for Monty Python. It's completely spaced me right now, but it's just there off the river. Anyway, it'll come to me. So when they pull up to the distillery, and actually the distillery sign's kind of blurred out, you can't see it, it's actually the Glengoyne distillery. And sadly, they didn't get credit for that little visitation. But yeah, beautiful distillery. And typically, their whiskeys are quite soft and floral. They have, as far as I know, I'm aware, the longest distillation process of any distillery in Scotland. You know, they distill it quite long, so it gets a little bit of that extra copper contact. And also, they'll have, if you've ever had a tour of the distillery, in the still house itself, where the pot stills are, you can see copper lining the roof, the walls, everywhere, all the way down to the spirit safe where it'll drop down, so it's getting copper contact the entire time, all the way up until it gets dropped into the spirit safe there. So what that does, it just gives it a little bit more of a pure, softer, maybe a bit more floral note to it, but always an exceptionally good malt. The Glengoyne 21 is probably one of my most favorite 21s of all time. Just a fantastic whiskey. Has nothing to do with the fact that Nigel and myself got a chance to actually be on the wee little panel that helped select the 21 barrels years ago, 2012 maybe, for the selection of the 21 bottling that year. Pretty cool experience, in fact. But with the little 12, I want to say it's 40% bottling, or maybe 43. Let me double check. 43% bottling of the little 12-year-old. And they did a cask strength expression of this a little while back that was lovely as well. But a really nice little nose with a nice little spice in there. A little bit of vanilla, some caramel coming in, maybe a little toffee somewhere hidden in there. Some nice fresh apples. Really just a beautiful nose. And we'll see what Darth thinks about his little wee dram here in just a moment. His little the tasting room dram that Darth always gets. Well, let's go in and see what we think. A good clean, very nice little whiskey for a 12-year-old. And pound for pound, dollar for dollar, one of the better values out there. It'll slide in under $100, but a beautiful little whiskey. It's one of those, so far, just like everything we've got in the little calendar here, it's very easy for a newbie or someone like that to get started, or someone that says, you know what, I don't really like whiskey. You let them try something like that, and they'll change their opinion pretty quick. It's a very easy, welcoming, refreshing kind of summer dram, in fact, the weather that we've been having here recently in New Zealand. But a lovely, lovely whiskey, a beautiful distillery. And look, if anyone is ever over in Scotland and they're doing a couple of distillery tours and you've come in via Glasgow, I tell you, do yourself a favor and go have a visit a little bit further north of Glasgow into the distillery of Glengoyne. You will not be sorry. It's a beautiful little distillery. Typically, they'll have a live cask, so you can go into the visitor center after you've done your tour, pour your own bottle and do your own label. And it'll always be a bit of an unusual and exceptional cask when they do that. And it usually costs between 70 and 80 pounds or whatever, but it's well worth it. Always a beautiful cask. And of course, say hello to all the team from the House of Whiskey over that way as well. But boys and girls, very good way to get into whiskey number 5. And you can see where we've got a wicked little design so far, almost rocket ship-esque on our wee little 12 Days of Christmas there. Darth seems to be quite happy and quite content as usual, and we will be back tomorrow. Actually, it should be tomorrow. I think Mr. Bardell will be joining me. Should have a pretty big week last week leading up to Christmas. In fact, boys and girls, a reminder, 1 week from tonight, Christmas Eve. So it's crashing on us very fast. Get out there, finish your shopping. My daughters and I finally finished putting up the Christmas tree and the decorations last night, so the only thing remaining is get those presents up under there. All right, boys and girls, that's me from the House of Whiskey for day number 5. We'll see you back tomorrow. Ciao.